Hey, this is Kat from Red Mountain Shaman, and I share shamanic wisdom through dreams, visions, nature, synchronicities, intuition, channeling, art, music, photography, and shamanic journeys. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I talk about my own personal shamanic and spiritual experiences, as well as share my own transmissions that I hear telepathically from different helping spirits. And today I'm going to be sharing a message from Yeshua. I'm also going to be talking about how the elite secret orders have infiltrated humanity for a long period of time, and how those secret orders are now going to be exposed, at least soon. So one thing I noticed in the news this week was that NGO called the Southern Poverty Law has been exposed for funding the KKK and NAZIs. And it's funny because these people are the ones who are trying to push the racism and say that there's hate groups and blah, blah, blah. And then they also, they're found to be the ones that kind of pushed the far right neo-NAZIs through paying them and discrediting Trump and his party. So this is all like huge, huge news. I don't even know if the mainstream media is talking about it because it completely dismantles their narrative. Another thing I saw was that Trump has been talking about Hillary and Obama as being part of a treasonous plot through Russiagate, and that if this is proven further and that there will be kind of a null and void about the 2020 election, because it has, it's deceived the people into thinking that there's all this racism and that it's connected to him and his party. And so basically it will be proven as treason. And if that's so, that whole election will be proven null and void, if that makes sense. So we'll see how that plays out. The next thing I wanted to talk about was last week I was mentioning how there was a couple days that Spirit told me to watch. And it was this watch the energy, and I had lucky things kind of happen on those 2 days. And then right after that, I took my dad to lunch, and we saw a fox cross the road, and then it stopped at the side of the road and just stared at us as we drove by. And I always connect Trump to the fox because I feel like he's the great trickster. He tricks people into doing what he wants them to do. And then we were seated at a table, and it had a big 13 on the wall, so it was table 13. So that was kind of a cool synchronicity that was connected to last week's video. And then I had two sessions in the past month or so where people have had past lives connected to the Anunnaki Native Americans. And so one of them, I was guided to put a big medicine wheel over Chaco Canyon. And then I was shown a skull, and I had the feeling that something terribly traumatic had happened there. I also heard the words Pueblo, and I heard the word Aztec. So I felt there was something connected between those three cultures. And then I saw this channel right after I did that session, and it's called Origin Decoder. And the title of this video, I think, is The Anunnaki Were Never Who We Thought They Were, and They Never Truly Vanished. And this video talks about how geneticists and archaeology is now uncovering a different story that we were told, and that they were just a peaceful agriculture society, and they didn't mysteriously vanish. This video talks about how the Aztecs kind of came in, and these elite ruling classes came in and started scaring the people. And through these scare tactics, through consumption of the humans, they scared them into doing what they wanted them to do. And so they started ruling over them with this word that starts with a C. So basically the people fell under this rulership, and then they were reported to migrate back to South America after extended droughts in Chaco Canyon. And this video really resonated with me. And what I feel is that this kind of archonic force came into the humans on Earth and coming into different societies and culture for a very long time. And that we've had these resets and periods or societies that were more peaceful and enlightened and then fell under this force and fell. And as these forces came in and took over our current human society, also, like our current time is like not much different. I feel that they're still doing this behind the scenes, and this is sort of coming out, that they're using the C word. They're doing ritualistic things with humans, and it's just this elite ruling class that has been doing this for a long time and operating behind the scenes. I think a lot of them are connected with secret orders. And another thing that I've seen twice now in different sessions is these three symbols coming in together, like almost superimposed upon each other. And one is the hammer and sickle, the other is a swastika, and the other is the compass and square. So it feels like all of these symbols have been inverted and used for power over others, or perhaps they're all the similar frequency, or perhaps people connected to these inverted symbols are working together behind the scenes. So we'll see how that plays out. The next thing I noticed recently is a couple of very popular people in the so-called spiritual community saying things that completely don't resonate with me. I don't like to name names on this because I don't like to diminish people or slander them. And some of the things they say I do agree with. But one is talking a lot about the Anunnaki lately, the past couple of weeks, and pushing this narrative about humanity coming from monkeys and animals, and that these dark Anunnaki fallen angels created us. Does not resonate with me at all. The other keeps pushing the idea that Donald Trump is part of the elite cabal that does these black magic rituals, and that doesn't resonate with me either. So do your own research and do your own meditations on these things, but be wary of people pushing certain narratives that are in the spiritual community, because these dark side fallen angels love to infiltrate the spiritual community the most, it feels like. So be discerning. There was someone I did agree with on the Anunnaki, and it was a great interview with Ishmael Perez this week called The Secrets Beneath Antarctica, explaining how the Anunnaki were once positive angelic and a faction of them fell, so that the bad ones really, to me, are just fallen angels. So they're the Anunnaki. I looked it up, and it's the Anunnaki and the Elohim have pretty much the same meaning in Sumerian and Hebrew, respectively, in the context of Hopi oral tradition and Native American legends of the Southwest. The term Anu is defined as the Hopi word for ant, and I've had encounters with ant people, so I'm not saying that the ant people are the Anunnaki, but I've had positive encounters with ant people. Also, the Anunnaki, in some theories, specifically highlighted by researchers, suggests a connection between the Hopi word ant and Naki, friends, creating Anunnaki or ant friends. This is compared to the Babylonian sky god Anu and the Sumerian Anunnaki. And then in alternative meanings, Sanskrit means atom or minute or smallest particle, and it refers to the heavenly one. So, yeah, there's a lot of different meanings of that, but the root meaning is what I really wanted to look up. And the name is broken down from An, or sky/heaven, Na, or princely and noble, and Ki, or earth, related to Anu, those who descended from heaven, while the literal root refers to lineage, the interpretation, those who came from heaven to earth. And then Zecharia Sitchin's I feel like inverted this whole Anunnaki thing with the ancient aliens thing, and I don't really agree with his narrative. I've heard somebody say in the comments he's a CIA plant. I don't know about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. And then I made a video about a month ago called the positive Anunnaki have arrived for the final battle. And so I believe that we are getting help now from the positive angelics to help us reveal these negative fallen angels who have infiltrated our societies, going way back into different societies. And as I've mentioned, even back in Chaco Canyon, and they've infiltrated even some of the indigenous cultures way back. So, what is the final battle, you ask? I think it's the artificial path versus the organic path. And I think it's Gog and Magog. I have a video about that too, if you want to go back and find that. It talks about how the Gog and Magog is basically the battle against AI. And it's destroyed a lot of planets and even universes, according to Ishmael Perez. And I think there will be at least a version or a dimension of New Earth that doesn't have AI at all. And then probably another version where it has like a more positive AI. So we'll see how that plays out. But there is I differ in opinion from Ishmael that I think the Millennium Kingdom may have already happened, because if we are in the what my guides called the final battle, why are we going to have another final battle? To me, it feels like this battle is the final battle before the ascension of planet Earth. That's just my opinion. There is a channel called Jason Jax, I think, or Jason Jackson, something like that. And he talks a lot about the short season eschatology. And I do believe we're at the end of the short season where the dark forces have been released to manipulate and control the nations. This is also biblical. So I feel like we're at the end of that right now. So to me, it feels like these fallen angelic and these hidden hands and these secret orders are going to be coming to the surface, because there's so much light coming onto the planet right now that there's no choice for them to stay here and operate in the hidden shadows any longer. So I myself have decided I'm never above changing my opinions with new information, and there's no shame in changing your mind about something. So I'm not saying I know for sure everything that I say is true. I'm always open to changing my perspective as I get new information, and I think you should too. So if I get something that contradicts information that I've said on this channel, I have no problem saying that I was wrong and saying that this is a new perspective that I have. So I'll always be truthful with you and take you with me on my own journey for truth, wherever that leads me. So then I had a dream. This was several years ago, and it was like I came to Earth in this bell-shaped craft, and then I turned into an owl just before it hit the ground and crashed. And I feel like those bell-shaped crafts are kind of created by the NAZIs. So I almost wonder if that was symbolic of falling into like a controlled, fallen, restrictive world, and that our inner wisdom, or the owl, is what liberates us out of that. So I feel like we are starting to remember who we are now, and that's why we're here, is to you remember our inner wisdom and come out of the liberation that Trump is trying to help us with. So I guess I'm just going to go ahead and get into this message from Yeshua. And he kind of talks about this final battle, and I believe he's talking about who the Anunnaki really are and what's happening. So I hope you enjoy this message from him, and this is what I heard as I typed it out. We are indeed in the final battle for the soul of humanity and the liberation of Mother Earth. There have been fallen angels that have been influencing humanity through many cycles in the lifespan of Earth. There have also been cycles where humanity has risen up and reclaimed their divine sovereignty and divinity. They were once connected to the Christ light in epochs of time when the veil was lifted and the mind was expanded. However, we are now at the end of a cycle in which the dark forces of control have prevailed in many ways. They have done this through deception, mind manipulation, propaganda, and the hidden hands of control within your secret societies, religions, and ruling classes. They consider themselves royalty or gods of this world. But as I have stated many times, the true royalty are those who have embraced the Christ light and have come to transition through frequency back into the light of divine sovereignty with harmony and peace. The true kings and queens of New Earth have chosen to stand in their sovereignty in order to bring truth and liberation to planet Earth. We are indeed at a precipice and at a crossroads. Those of you who have incarnated for this very specific mission are bringing your swords of truth and bringing back Earth into balance as you merge with the forces of light within the higher dimensions. Many star races are now making themselves known through those who have expanded and heightened consciousness to perceive them and communicate with them. These benevolent star races know the importance of Earth's ascension and liberation. They are working tirelessly to defeat the opposing forces of control. This is part of the reason some of you may feel exhausted, even though you rest often. It is not only the light codes upgrading your bodies through the sun for this great change, but it is also the fact that versions of you in other dimensions are also fighting this final battle for the liberation of Earth. Our dear one here is also doing this within the Stargate of the Temple Mount, where indeed there are events planned by the fallen ones for continued deceit and control. But rest assured, the light also has its plans of truth and defeating of darkness. We will defeat this control and deception. Even the great I Am presence resides within those who remain sovereign and connected to the source of all that is. It is through organic creation that true power and liberation lies. You who choose this pathway of organic creation overthrow the powers of artificial creation. There are those who see themselves as gods of this world. They think they can continue in their ways of artificial control over the matrix of Earth. But the matrix is beginning to crack, and as it has been said, the cracks are where the light gets in. It is within this great apocalypse, or unveiling of truth, that the light gets in. It is through cracks in the mainstream narratives that the light of truth begins to show itself. Yet even within the cracks beginning to show up in the accepted narratives, some may still not be ready to accept the cracks. Some will dig in their heels and continue on the path that leads them away from their divine connection. Others will begin to see with new eyes. And those of you who have begun to see through the deception years ago can lend a hand and share your truth to assist in this transition process that many will aptly call the Great Awakening. The truth about those who have remained hidden in darkness will come to light. Those who have joined forces in order to maintain their power and control over Earth will be seen, and the order of their so-called New World will be shattered. They have created their secret orders and have been operating them for a very long time within many cycles of Earth's time. And what has taken cycles to evolve can be dismantled within a matter of years. And this is the power of the Great Spirit. This is the power of the angels in which this Spirit resides. It is the power within you who have returned as Earth warriors of all colors of the rainbow, to return what has been stolen back to natural order and divine law. I remind you again to take a look at the book of Enoch and remember the fate of those who have disrupted natural order. The great I Am is the true source of natural order and creation. Anything less will prove unsustainable within the new frequencies that shape the ascending earth. All that has been hidden and done in darkness will be pushed into the spotlight and seen within the light of day. Nothing can stop it. No secret orders will be able to remain within their confines of hidden control. All will come to light, and as they are revealed for who they really are, many will be shocked and dismayed at how they have been deceived. But this is indeed the process of awakening, and even the awakened will be surprised in some cases. Stand in your power of creation, for you are the creator, as you co-create your new reality with the I Am presence within you. I am also working tirelessly to support the true order of all things within planet Earth. We are changing the world together, bringing truth and justice to light, as we are all one, all connected by the Great Spirit, which flows through all of the whole of organic creation. So be it. I am Yeshua. Thank you, Yeshua. So he's talking about these secret orders being taken down. And I remember I've been on my Facebook page. It's Katrina Whitney. If you ever want to go there, I post everything publicly. You don't have to be my friend to see my posts. And there's a couple on there, but I have a shirt on that says disobey. It's disobey the cabal is what that means. So I've been saying for a long time on my Facebook page that the true Nazis will be revealed and exposed. And with this NGO, the poverty law NGO being exposed, they are actually literally funding Nazis. And this is mostly the Democratic Party and probably some rhinos and celebrities. So they're actually funding the NAZIs. So it's coming out, guys. So right when I finished preparing the information for this video, I looked at my clock and it was 11:57, which symbolically to me, kind of what came into my mind was it's a few minutes to midnight. And, time is different in the higher dimensions. So a few minutes to them is, it could be just a few years. So that came into my mind. And then this post popped up from Q the Storm Rider that somebody shared on Facebook from April 12th. And it says, Trump has cut down on this huge, gigantic network. He's creating a new financial system and making America absolutely powerful. America will run operations through the world to ensure the end of these human trafficking operations connecting to people controlling the oil industry through terrorism. This massive deep state swamp operations, Jesuits, 33-degree Masons, this is all being brought down. So I thought that was interesting that right when I made a video about these secret orders being brought down, that post popped up on my feed as a awesome synchronicity from the universe that it's true. So keep watching. I did draw a card today. And before I read that, I want to remind you, if you'd like to book a session with me, I do readings, I do energy healing, all kinds of interesting things, past life, Akashic records. We can go into that sometimes. I do ancestral, generational healing. So if you're interested in any of that, go to redmountainshaman.com and you can look at my services page. You can read about me, how I came into doing this work. And you can also go to the contact page and learn how to book a session with me. At the bottom of the contact page, there is also a link to my PayPal if you'd like to contribute anything to the work that I do here every Sunday. I will always provide it for free. I don't expect anything, but if you feel the call to contribute to paying my bills and supporting the work I do, I always appreciate that. Also, please press like, subscribe, and share this video with awakened people who you think might connect with this, and leave a comment. I try to read the comments when I have time, and I try to respond to people that I feel called to. I can't respond to everything. I just don't have time. But if there's certain comments I feel called, I will. Okay, so the deck that I pulled today is called Spirit of the Wheel, and it's created by Linda Ewashina. And the card is called Ducks Fly Moon. The key word are synchronicity, balance, and certainty. The prophecy. Ducks Fly Moon brings about the changes that are necessary to achieve inner balance. Because of this moon's extreme polarity of opposites, people born under this sign feel either great confusion or complete balance in their lives. And I think this has to do with the split that we are seeing right now. There's either people who are really confused and in a lot of fear, or people who are really grounded and following God's plan and have confidence and know that we are moving into a beautiful golden age or a beautiful new earth. There seems to be no in-between. The message in this card is one of bringing back the self into a state of balance. Let go of judgments or ego attachments and become a bridge between the earth and sky. Feel the nurturing, grounding energies of Earth Mother while remaining connected to the divine flow that feeds your spiritual essence. And I do that whenever I start a session. I always ground myself and visualize myself as the tree of life or a bridge between heaven and earth. And I call in Mother, Father, God, Great Spirit, and I call in the Mother Earth. And that really helps ground me. You can do that too for yourself before you go into any kind of meditation or shamanic journeys. It says, when you reach this state, the magic of Raven is revealed to you through miracles, synchronicity, inner peace, and joy. You know with complete certainty that you are on the destined path. Once you have achieved inner balance, you are often called upon to teach others and to help bring balance into the world around you. This card is a reminder that you can make a difference, but you must begin by bringing yourself back into balance. And then if you want to take a deep breath with me, we're going to say the prayer with this card. It's a beautiful, quick, short prayer. Everybody just take a deep breath. Great Spirit, help me to bring my body, mind, and spirit into a state of balance. Let my heart be an open bridge to others by staying connected to the energies of the Earth Mother, as well as that of the Divine or the Great Spirit. So it is. I hope you guys all have a good week. I'm sending you all love. And until next Sunday when I make another video for you all, take care.